Okay, so the main purpose of this channel is going to be running a little experiment. I want to see how close every single team is to making the Super Bowl. Um, Theoretically, every team has the same amount of time. They all have a draft, they all have free agents, they all have trades that they can make. So I want to see how close each team is away. If they're one or two moves away, that'd be awesome for every team. It's the off season. We got to have some optimism for our teams. I hope that the Seahawks are, one or two moves away. We've got the draft. We've got free agents. You can always trade some of these guys. Just watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go from 7-9 last season and making a couple moves to get to the Super Bowl, it shows that it can be done. Even if that big move was getting the greatest quarterback of all time, he was on the table for weeks. The Chargers were in talks with him. There were a couple teams in talks with Tom Brady, and the Buccaneers got it done. He recognized that they were basically just him, and obviously there's some draft. Antoine Winfield Jr., he did a great job for them. They traded for Gronk. There were some other moves, obviously, but you've got a solid team base. You had a great coach in Bruce Arians, as much as I don't like the guy. You have a solid foundation for a winning team. And that's kind of the basis of this experiment. I want to see how many teams we can give that turnaround to. So we're going to take over every single one. To make this a little bit more difficult, I'm going to bring in my buddy Alan. He is kind of my arch nemesis in Madden. We always play franchises together. We're always division rivals. We've been in 32-man leagues. I've played against him in the Super Bowl. I've beat him in the Super Bowl. He's beat me in probably a Super Bowl here or there. So it's going to be a really close matchup between the two of us. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Either way, that's going to be some good competition between the two of us. So for each run through of the 2021 season that we're going to do, we're going to play as division rivals. I think that's going to make things, a little bit more interesting. I get to play him twice a year, possibly in the playoffs. It's going to give us a little side goal of not only trying to win the Super Bowl for us, but just trying to make sure that the other person doesn't. I like to have a little bit of a competitive edge that way, just for fun. So a couple rules that we're going to have during this is there's going to be a limited amount of trades that we can run. You don't really see a whole lot of like 5 trades in a season by one team. I just haven't seen that very often. So what we're going to do is you've got 2 off-season trades that you can make, and then 1 in-season trade if you think there's a position that you're lacking in, just to try and make an in-game adjustment, in-season adjustment. If you've got maybe a important piece of yours that got injured, you can try and replace them with a trade. So that's going to be something that we're going to be looking into. So 2 off-season trades, 1 in-season trade. You can do as many free agent signings as you want, as long as you can afford them. That's cool. I kind of touched on this earlier, but there are going to be injuries on. That's going to make things a little more interesting. You've got to make some adjustments on the fly. If you've got somebody that you are kind of leaning on and they get injured, you got to find a different way, a different approach. So that's going to make things pretty realistic. We're going to be playing on all Madden. We're going to be playing with simulation mode. I think simulation mode is a little more realistic. It just gives you a little bit more penalties. I think that height and weight matters a little bit more in simulation. If you're throwing a jump ball to a 6'5" receiver, he's probably going to come down with it, or at least knock it away. It's not going to be some 5'10" corner coming down with a pick every single time you throw a jump ball. So that's something I kind of like about simulation. We'll make it a little more realistic. Another thing is we are going to be using the team that we're playing as. We're going to be using their playbook. So no custom playbooks. There's not going to be all these cheese plays that a lot of people rely on. We got to find our play style through the team playbook. I think that's going to make things a little more even as well. It's going to be fun. You're going to have to do a little bit more game planning on both sides of the ball. If I'm going to be playing Allen and I don't know his playbook, I don't know what plays he's been running all season, it's going to be a little more fun that way. I know what his custom playbook looks like, so he knows what my custom playbook looks like. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise for us. I think that's going to make things a little more interesting for you guys to watch too. And then no Madden cheese. Like, I don't really want any position changes in here that aren't going to be realistic. I'm not going to be changing a wide receiver to a tight end or a wide receiver to a running back. I'm not going to be putting a safety at linebacker. I want to see if there's realistic moves that can be made and win your team Super Bowl. That's kind of the goal here. We just want to make it pure football, as pure as we can. I know Madden's not going to really allow us to have that perfect football game simulation, but we're going to try our best to make it as realistic as possible so you can have a little bit of an idea of what your team could do to make the playoffs or make the Super Bowl, hopefully. Alright, so I think that will just about do it for today. Just wanted to welcome you to the channel, let you guys know what kind of videos we're going to be running. I think this is going to be a really fun experiment. We should be getting you the first franchises that we choose, like our first season, pretty soon here. I think most teams are closer than you think. I think, if they can just do a couple things here and there, we'll delve into it a little bit more, during the off season of whatever team that we choose. But I think there's going to be a lot of surprises on how far a team can go with just a couple moves. So I'm excited to go through that with you guys, see if we can make your team win a Super Bowl. Hopefully your team's controlled by me, because I'm going to be the one winning the most Super Bowls. So whoever's on this channel, just remember, you're Team Jayhawk, we're Team Jayhawk, we're going to win. So go and subscribe if you like this channel. If you like the idea of this, the concept, give us a comment below. Let us know if there's any other suggestions you might have. And we'll see you soon.
Totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they